Technology is fast disrupting the way in which we do business and interact with the world around us, but we haven't seen the half of it yet. So what's to come? Joining me with more is Pieter Geldenhuys, who's founder and director for the Institute of Technology Strategy and Innovation. Pieter, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Pieter, perhaps you can humor me for a minute to do a bit of crystal ball gazing. What is to come?
So for the last couple of years, people come up to me and say, Peter, what's the next big thing? There was the internet and tablets and then smartphones, and it's been 10 years since the smartphone. What's the next big thing? We think we finally know what the next big thing is. It's not going to be a gadget. It's going to be invisible, and it's going to be called an Uber.
An Uber?
And normally people give me applause at that point in time. So the ubiquitous personal assistant, or as they call it abroad, the virtual personal assistant, some of us know it as the Google Assistant or the Amazon Alexa. But the important thing is that in October 2017, for the first time, machine learning recognized 95% of words. That's better than average human. And that literally means you talk to everything around you. You talk to your device, your car, your camera. In my bag, I even have a pair of earphones you can talk to. You simply click a button and you say, call the nearest VW dealer, and it does it. So voice now becomes the primary interface into the internet. And not only that, the machine learning entities can also call another company, not knowing that it's a bot. They think it's a human. And you can, for example, call a company and saying, make a reservation on an airline. And immediately on your phone, you'll see it appear. Within the next 2 years, that's a promise, you'll be able to talk to your phone and say, listen, please get me an airline ticket this Friday to Cape Town and make it the cheapest one. And your bot can either then go online or even call someone, get it done, and put it on your calendar. That's the power of machine learning and language analysis. Around these two standards, Google Assistant or Amazon Echo, a whole new ecosystem of value will arrive. Your computer will tell you in the morning, listen, your electricity bill came, and you can simply say, pay it for me. You can say, order an Uber taxi, and it'll tell you if it arrives. You will be able to interact with it as if you're interacting with a human, purely based on voice. That is going to be the next big thing for the next 2 to 3 years.
Next 2 to 3 years in South Africa, considering our multitude of official languages, our South Africanisms, and very particular slang?
Google brought out a specific app called Google Go, specifically aimed at South African accents and with low bandwidth requirements. So yes, with South African accents. So if you take a look at some of the media proposals there, not all of the accents will be covered, but most of them will be. And it's truly amazing to see the accuracy of how it picks up words, even in different accents.
Then what does this mean for our own businesses?
Oh, there will be huge impacts. There's huge advances. You can, for example, enable huge efficiencies in the interconnection between people because you can hand over some of these capabilities to a computer. On the negative side, it might have an impact on our call center industry, where if you normally call a bank and say, listen, I want my credit card to be activated for international use, that could, for example, be replaced by a bot. You'll be speaking to a bot, you wouldn't even know it. And that means there's some key jobs that will be affected. But we're at the cusp of the sixth technological revolution.
The sixth?
The sixth technological. So yes, we have the industrial revolutions, but that's industry. The technological revolution as defined by Kardashev and Schumpeter, way back, so this is academic speak. We've seen fifth waves. 5 waves, and the sixth wave will incorporate things like smart materials, DNA analysis, cybernetic systems, which the fourth industrial revolution speaks to as well. But the technological revolution that's happening will go far beyond it. We are seeing a massive breakthrough in smart materials. Remember, the 4th of July 2012, what happened? What happened? No, it wasn't Kim Kardashian taking a baby to the sea. The Higgs boson vector was identified and quantified. The Higgs boson vector that gives mass to everything around us? All right. So what we are seeing is that in the past, when you wanted to build an aircraft, through trial and error, you made a couple of prototypes, some fell out of the sky, and then over time we understood the mathematics behind it so that we can create and design an aircraft entirely on a computer. With the Higgs boson vector, we can now understand the subatomic world, which means that the next generation of materials will be designed on a computer. So by 2025, we believe that some of the material in your car body panels will be able to store electricity. It'll be able to get energy from the sun, making the car lighter. If someone bumps into your car, it'll form back into its original form. So smart materials will have a huge impact on our world, enriching it in beyond our wildest imagination. We're at the cusp of unbelievable change. Let's take a look at DNA. DNA analysis and DNA editing will change how we look at medicine. The cost of DNA analysis will fall dramatically. This will change the entire business model around medicine, but also around health, living longer and healthier lives.
You say that technology might put some jobs at risk. In a country like South Africa, where we have such a high unemployment rate, how can technology actually help give us some more jobs or make people more productive?
The foundation behind jobs is that you have to have a skill that the market requires. And the skill must be priced at such a point that the market is prepared to pay for that skill. The answer is changing into the supply side, not the demand side. We need to ensure that we upskill South Africans. Yes, it's a long-term journey. There's no magic wand. We are seeing disruptive innovation. Schumpeter called it creative destruction. On the one side, it destroys. On the other side, it creates. Wonderful opportunities will exist for smart material designers, for people that are DNA advisors, that assist in a variety of new ecosystems that will emerge. But at the same time, our current structures with inefficiencies will die because technologies will create a more efficient environment. In machine learning will have an impact on mining, automated mining, in call centers. So a variety of unskilled jobs will fall by the wayside. However, it does not mean that all is lost. There's a huge need for electricians. There's a huge need for plumbers. There's a huge need for vocational skills. So although there is a requirement for higher levels of cognitive analysis and thinking, there's also a huge skill for practical and manual labor, but more in an entrepreneurial setting than working for large organizations. So it's a mindset shift in terms of getting the skills that we really need to change our lives rather than working for an organization that is there to dispense jobs. I think that ecosystem will change. We'll need to become more entrepreneurial. And it doesn't mean you have to be a rocket scientist or a educated individual, but rudimentary skills, vocational skills, I think there's a huge scope for it in South Africa.
And the future of economic growth, how will that impact?
Whoa, now here you have to speak to the economist because there they'll come up with some indirect questions that don't normally answer the question. Very tough. It's very difficult to say. We know that we are in a very precarious situation worldwide. We're sitting with governments that are loaded with debt. We are seeing rising interest rates. We are seeing trade walls going up. So the economic environment, although currently very rosy in terms of economic growth, might turn south rather quickly if something fundamental doesn't happen to the fabric of our economies. Fortunately, we've got these new innovations. And what we've seen in previous years, the moment that there's this new drive towards innovation, then as Kondratief said it, there's the spring, the summer, the autumn and the winter of new technologies. And we're at the cusp, at this new spring of the sixth technological revolution. So I'm optimist by nature, but if we stifle innovation, if we stifle growth, if we don't allow technology to enable this new ecosystem, we might be heading for some dangerous years in years ahead.
Pieter, that's where we're going to leave things this morning. Pieter Geldenhuys is the founder and director of the Institute for Technology Strategy and Innovation.